Welcome back. The flag officer commanding Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral Victor Adedipe, has charged naval officers to synergize with other security agencies in the fight against insecurity and to avoid friction that could lead to loss of lives. He said this on the sidelines of an interaction with naval officers at the Pathfinder Naval Base in Port Harcourt, Yobe State. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff has ended his 3-day operational visit to 6th Division Nigerian Army with headquarters in Port Harcourt. Our correspondent Emmanuel Iri reports.
30th of May 2017, the aftermath of a bloody clash between some naval officers and the police in Calabar. The trouble, which was reported to have started when the naval officers allegedly flouted the traffic red light in Akim Road area, leading to an open confrontation with the policemen who tried to stop them, degenerating into the loss of 3 lives, with some sustaining gunshot injuries and properties destroyed. And that kind of needless encounter and its avoidable consequences forms part of the agenda of the flag officer commanding Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral Victor Adedipe, as he visits the naval base in Pathfinder, Yobe State, to interact with the naval officers. According to him, the Navy, police and other security agencies have a common enemy.
The Nigerian Navy is not the enemy of the police. Neither is the police the enemy of the Nigerian Navy. We have a common enemy in those that steal crude oil, those that vandalize pipelines, and those that kidnap innocent Nigerian citizens. Those are adversaries. And we should all come together so that we can ensure that we make the maritime domain very secure and safe.
You can find that on page 1 of the program.
Meanwhile, as part of activities to mark the Chief of Army Staff's 3-day operational visit to the 6th Division, the Yobe State government hands over a newly built Army Chief Guest House to the Nigerian Army.
These are all little contribution we can make to the Army. So when you come and rest here and get good air. When you go to the barrack, you talk to them, then you come here and rest.
Going forward, there is need for all security agencies to focus on the common objective of dealing with the rising cases of crime and criminality in the country. Emmanuel Iri, Channels Television News.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has given the federal government 7 days to begin the full recovery of over 40 billion naira public funds that have so far been received as emoluments by former governors who are now senators and ministers and drawing normal salaries and allowances in their new political offices. SERAP, in an open letter signed by its Executive Director Adetukumbo Mumini and addressed to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, wants him to use his office and powers under Section 174(1) of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999, to challenge the legality of state laws permitting former governors who are now senators and ministers to enjoy governors' earnings while drawing normal salaries and allowances in their new political offices. The letter reads, "Public interest is not well served when government officials such as former governors, deputies, supplement their emoluments in their current positions with life pensions and emoluments drawn from their state's meager resources, and thereby prioritizing their private or personal interests over and above greatest happiness of the greatest number." The organization also asked Mr. Malami to act swiftly, failing which it will institute legal proceedings to compel the discharge of constitutional duty and full compliance with Nigeria's international anti-corruption obligations and commitments. SERAP says it considers double emoluments for serving public officials unlawful, as the law granting those benefits take governance away from the arena of public interest and creates the impression that former governors acted contrary to the best interests of the general public. The Yobe State government is among the states in the northeast investing massively in rice farming, not only to boost revenue but to improve on production capacity of the country. Water is very crucial to the success of rice farming, and Yobe State and the federal government are investing heavily through irrigation to provide 9 million gallons of water a year for the farms.
Governor Ibrahim Gaidam is in this rice farm sitting on 900 hectares of land. Himself and the cabinet are convinced that agriculture is the way to go in providing revenue for the state. Irrigation is a vital component, and the state is constructing 2 dam sites, one in Bolaram and the second in Muguram.
More of the people will be accommodated. So we settled 120 farmers here with 4 farmers per hectare. But we believe with variety of the rice we have here, at least we have the potential yield of 4 to 5 tons per hectare. So we believe that no matter how small that area, at least there is something to take home with.
The government envisages that the dams will produce enough water and there will be strong and improved production of wheat, rice and maize. This is why the government is promising to invest massively in this sector.
Our intention was to establish maybe 4 or 5 of this kind of program. It will take some time before we start getting their positive impact. So there is no problem. Based on what I have seen, I am very, very much impressed. And at the same time, I can confess that the contractor has done an excellent job here.
Irrigation is a way of conserving water for the farms, which is very peculiar to the northern part of the country. And the government of Yobe State believes that this process will go a long way in making the dream of becoming the biggest producer of grains in the northern part of the country a reality.
Hundreds of persons have been displaced following a communal clash that erupted between residents of Wanikade and 1AM communities in Yala local government area of Cross River State. The displaced persons presently camped in Benue State are appealing to the Boundary Commission to hasten the demarcation process in order to forestall a recurrence. Our community report tonight looks at the situation and how both states' governments are handling the crisis.
Etisola, now you're talking.
The alarming sight of burnt homes in the communities of Wanikade and 1AM, 2 areas that border Benue and Cross River States. Since the beginning of the year, close to 200 people are reported to have lost their lives here, just because residents of both sides have thrown dialogue out the window, all over a piece of land. Now, the sounds of loss fills the air. Displaced men, women and children from Cross River State who fled for their lives now reside at this camp in Oji local government area of Benue State. They are at a loss on what to do. Usually forlorn figures gather around in the camps, but their joy comes when relief materials appears. The chairman of the local government says the number of people here have overwhelmed the facilities.
You see the number of children that are available here today. They have no immediate schools, no teachers to attend to them. Priority should be given to these 2 areas so that in rural areas, when this kind of situations erupt again, we will have teachers attend to children. They will not be lacking in education. We will have personnel that are equipped with health facilities and instruments to cater for them so they can bring them back to life.
The Deputy Governor of Cross River State is on a peace mission. He stops by the camp to see how his people are faring. His words are stern. The government should not be seen as a meal ticket whenever violence erupts, because the people should have what it takes to settle matters amicably.
I don't think that if you continue to be fighting and destroying this thing, that people will be coming to help you. After some time, we'll be tired of you, and nobody will answer you. So I hope people should note that. It's not all the time that anything happens, then you think government will bring you food, will bring you this, will bring you that. Those who have been through war know that war in any form is terrible. So please, whatever you can, make sure there's no more war in Wanikade and Wanehem.
The Deputy Governor also meets with the Governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, who shares the sentiments on peaceful coexistence.
Nigeria is passing through a recession. with the issue of payment of salaries, regardless of developing infrastructure. And then the military you have, you still have to waste it on this kind of problem. It is really unfortunate. I think that it shouldn't happen. I have faced it several times.
The gentleman's handshake after the meeting is seen as the first step to ending the tussle. It now behoves on both state governments to enlighten their citizens on how to live in peace and avoid confrontations that will lead to further bloodshed.
Etisola, now you're talking.
Culture is said to be the definition of a people, and one artist is showing how proud of his culture he is. William Sheshet is an artist who is all about culture, and at his latest exhibition in Lagos, he exposes one of the major tribes in Nigeria. Our review tonight presents We Are the North by William Sheshet.
Beautiful illustrations from the northern extraction is what graphic designer William Sheshet is giving the viewers in his solo exhibition titled We Are the North.
It's a series of illustrations based on pop art and Afrofuturism. So I mixed a combination of Western pop art and traditional elements that we have in Africa here.
The illustrator and muralist, who is responsible for many internationally acclaimed works of art, decided to show the world a fun side of the land of his birth, one that is different from the tales of woe coming from some parts of the region.
The vision of this exhibition is to shine more spotlights on northern Nigeria, especially with the turmoil that's going on in the north. I think now more than ever it's a bit more important for people to learn more about northern Nigeria.
In this series, the artist uses pop art to interpret many subjects which are dear to his heart by using an art movement which involves using imagery from popular culture. It's the first time this traveling exhibition will be touching down in Lagos, and the team admits that the experience has been rewarding.
Not all of the pieces are, of northern influence. Like the name Where the North is. The Ife is it's a combination of pop art and African sculpture. So I kind of infused that together to get that piece.
This exhibition was done in collaboration with Alliance Francaise in Lagos and has its sights set on other destinations in order to show another side of the North.
Still ahead of the news at 10, Roger Federer becomes the first man to win Wimbledon 8 times after beating Marin Cilic in 3 straight sets. Details coming up in sports news. Please stay with us.